Now, I could have made a video on a new topic, or I could just keep trolling the high yield dividend warriors. You already know which one I chose. Now, listen to me guys. Many of the high yield dividend warriors, they are now claiming that they are making $84,000 a month. No, not $84,000 a year. $84,000 a month. And this is in passive income. Monthly dividend income. The amount of delusion of just saying this like it's a casual statement. Oh yeah, I make over $1 million a year with a $100,000 portfolio all on margin. What do you mean? You don't make $1 million either? Like, are you kidding me, guys? Many are now saying that anyone who is not with them is a Russian spy. Yeah, they have been infiltrated. Didn't you know that Vladimir Putin is listening to the live streams, trying to figure out how he can make passive income from covered call ETFs? Now, what is the warrior's latest obsession? It's over this ETF called MSTY, or MSTY. Yes, this is the latest in a string of fads. If you remember, I am the historian here, guys. So they first started off with Tesla. That's a YieldMax that does options trading on Tesla. And then when they realized they were actually losing money and not gaining money, they then switched it up to Coney. Then that became the new proclamation for them to retire early and make $84,000 a month in passive income. And while that did do well for a little bit, they then realized that the stock market doesn't always just go up. And then they have now went into this new road of the promised land. They have went into all in on MSTY. Now, MSTY is actively managed and they generate juicy dividends. You can see here, guys, 152% proclamation on the YieldMax website. And don't get me wrong, so far the plan has actually worked out very well for the high yield dividend investing warriors. You can see year to date, they're actually up 71%. They're actually crushing the S&P 500. And that's not even including those juicy, sweet dividends that they pay out every single month. Is it 100% possible to make money from these types of investments? Absolutely. I am not denying that. But what the warriors get wrong, and oh my gosh, they get this so wrong, it just amuses me, is that they assume that past performance will always be indicative of future performance. Just because it's done well in the past, that means it's for sure gonna do well in the future. Oh, I got a 78% return this year? This means I'll always get it. That's not how the stock market works. It doesn't care about what you did yesterday, it only cares about what you'll do tomorrow. You see, Microstrategy, they're basically just a holder of Bitcoin. They are trying to stockpile as many Bitcoins as possible. And Bitcoin has done amazing in 2024. Hence why MSTY has also done so well. But Bitcoin is a very volatile alternative investment. It carries a lot of inherent risk that the high yield dividend warriors pretend doesn't exist. Risk? What a risk! We have found the magic beans investment that sprouts 180% yield every single year with no problems for all of time. This is what future generations of our children will live off of. Is this the money tree that is MSTY? Now, those who buy MSTR and MSTY, I want to be clear, they are not actually investing. They are speculating, and it's okay to be a speculator. Just don't call yourself a real investor. You are essentially the same as somebody who goes to Las Vegas to gamble. You see, Bitcoins, their price fluctuates heavily with price volatility. Even the slightest rumor or tweet by Elon Musk can send the price moving up or down with very little reason. Now, if you actually understand how covered calls work, large swings are not good for this type of investment. That is what leads to the dreaded word, NAV erosion. Let's go over some of these risks. Since the high yield dividend warriors don't want to do any of the research themselves, I will gladly explain it for you. there is government regulation. Sure, many of you think that Donnie is going to do big, huge things for crypto. Listen, I love Donnie more than his most vehement supporters, but just because he says he's going to do something, that doesn't mean he's going to do something. Politicians often lie. I know, shocking news, right? And all of this euphoria is already priced into Bitcoin. Any sort of drop down from the expectations will have Bitcoin plummeting. Now, there's plenty of security risk with crypto as well, technological risk. There's, of course, the environmental impact. Bitcoin mining requires a significant amount of energy. If we claim to care about global warming so much, maybe it's time to take a closer look at this. Do the high yield dividend warriors not care about the planet? How are they going to enjoy their $84,000 a month in passive income if there is no planet? How will this money tree continue to support the lives of their offspring for generations to come? I mean, the way they're speaking about it, it's guaranteed money. Will they still get their guaranteed $84,000 a month if there's no planet? Speaking of guarantees, most people invest money into a business or opportunity because they believe they will get a reasonable return on their investment. Investors typically invest in a business because they believe the business will generate profits by producing goods or services that customers want or need. Bitcoin does not produce anything. It only goes up because another person thinks they can sell it later at a higher price. It is the greater fool theory. So you cannot look at MSTR the same way you can look at basically any other company that actually sells a good or service. It is all hype. And one thing that I've learned over the years is investing in hype can only last so long. After a while, investors will want to see results. Sure, Bitcoin is very hot right now. I'm not denying that. But there is no guarantee it will be hot in the future. Also, it's just so funny to me that crypto, which is commonly associated with scams and Ponzi schemes, is what these high yield dividend warriors are flocking to. Like literally every week, we hear about a new celebrity promoting a new scam coin to their audience. Man, who would have thought that the Hawk Tuah girl with all of her educational achievements decided to scam her fans? Oh my gosh. How are people so stupid to keep falling for this? But what do the warriors do? They decide to dump all of their hard-earned money into MSTR Microstrategy. You see, Microstrategy's founder is a man named Michael Saylor. Now, I'm not sure how much boating he actually does, but this man has gotten people to truly think they have found an infinite money glitch. You see, Microstrategy has existed for 35 years, but no one has ever cared about their software business. So they pivoted to just buying up Bitcoin. He's essentially issuing new shares of Microstrategy so they can buy up more Bitcoin. Now, this strategy only works if MSTR share price continues to go up and it trades at a premium compared to Bitcoin. So in periods like now, when Bitcoin is doing very hot, his strategy is actually working. But remember, this strategy also involves constantly diluting existing shareholders. Your piece of the pie is constantly getting smaller. They also have plenty of convertible bonds, which means even more shares are going to be added to the pie in the future. Now, I've already lost the high yield dividend warriors. The only thing they can comprehend is dividends. Just give me the dividends. Well, I just want the dividends. See, they don't actually analyze their investments closely. And this is why investors who often do research and don't fall for hype actually do pretty well in the markets, and they actually make money. Let's also imagine a world where Bitcoin suddenly does bad, and it's actually not very hard to imagine a world like that because it often does, and it does for long periods of time. Bitcoin is a very boom or bust cycle type of asset. The stock price will eventually come down. It will eventually come plummeting down. Those investors will get clapped, and I will be laughing all along the way. Now, is a snake eating its own tail sustainable? The only way Michael Saylor's investing strategy works is if new investors are willing to pay a premium on new shares of Microstrategy. This is what is known as a pyramid scheme. The high yield dividend warriors have yet again been hoodwinked. They have been bamboozled. Is anybody surprised? Absolutely not, when you have their leader thinking they are getting $84,000 a month in passive income from a $100,000 portfolio all on margin. Those who have profits, and don't get me wrong, I understand there's a lot of you who may have timed this very well and have gotten in at the best possible times and have been rewarded very well. They should be very grateful, and then they should get the out of there. Michael Saylor, he just continues to come up with this ridiculous Bitcoin cow-pounding rate of 29% every year for the next 20 years. That is absolute BS. Honestly, these days, anybody can just go on any news outlet, any YouTube video, and just spew absolute nonsense. If you really believe in Bitcoin, just buy Bitcoin. There's no need to buy any of this MSTR or MSTY nonsense. You have to ask yourself, if it's so easy to make money, if it's so easy to get rich, why isn't everybody doing this? Why isn't this front page news of CNBC? No, it's because the high yield dividend warriors, they've unlocked the magic beans. Now, I don't care if I'm hurting your feelings. I don't make these videos to be your friend. I'm here to spit out the truth, and the truth unfortunately hurts sometimes. Losing money, that really hurts. So many people are gonna lose their entire life savings. So many of us work so hard for their money. I hate to see it all evaporate into dust. Honestly, the only person I see getting rich off this is Michael Saylor. Now, I've noticed a trend that a lot of people investing in this stuff are usually newer to investing. They're generally in a desperate position in life where they need their investment to work in hopes of getting rich quick. Now, when you are desperate and trying out different get-rich-quick schemes, you'd be surprised that they usually don't work. I've also noticed those who are usually pretty experienced, have some sort of educational background in finance or accounting or understand how the markets work, they know there's no such thing as a free lunch. There is always gonna be a catch. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
Use it to generate my own money. I'm using other people's money to generate other people's money. So